Hey there, Scoopers. This is Terry, your owner and founder and chief administrator. And a few days ago, I put up a post and I said, ask me some questions, and we're going to do a little Salina Scoop Q&A video. And that's what we're doing today. So, as promised, here is that video and our Q&A session. So, my handy-dandy little iPhone here. First of all, we'll just start from the top. Member Denise Hefner has a few questions. First of all, she asks, do you have a background in news or weather that made you interested in starting the Scoop? Well, not really. Actually, when I was much, much younger and a lot less gray on the top of my head, I had aspirations of actually getting a meteorology degree at that point, actually coming out of high school. Unfortunately, at times life deals you a hand that you have to deal with and go with, and college has, at this point in my life, not really been in the cards, although there are some things that to this day I'm still looking at pursuing. So you never know how that may end up. But did have aspirations of being a weatherman. I am a bit of a news hound, so I do like the news. I do like that type of media outlet, and that kind of had some inspiration for the Scoop. Denise also asked if the admins are volunteers. The answer to that question is yes. I have 7 of them. They do volunteer. There's no compensation or pay involved in that. And she also wanted to know if the admins I have any special news, weather, or emergency or media training. As far as I know, no. That I'm aware of. I know I have one admin that actually works for the city, but that isn't of any benefit to me, unfortunately. Beyond that, not really. We all basically have day jobs or things of that nature, but nothing in particularly special about that. John McCall asks, do you know when Coyote Canyon is going to start building anew out by Logan's? And he read that in the paper a couple of years back. I did too. I've also posted a few things on that. The feature that I do occasionally on the Scoop, news and notes from around town, which another one of those is coming down the pipe here pretty soon, as soon as I get a free hand to put that together. I haven't heard anything further on the Coyote Canyon, John. My understanding, the Bremer brothers still own the parcel of land that includes the building that was formerly Popeye's, still sits there on Riffle Drive. I do know that, from what I understood, one of the reasons they were wanting to move was the apparently an increase in the price of the lease, in which the Central Mall charges the Canyon to be on that particular piece of property there. I assume that's something they still have in development, and once I get some more information on that, I'll be more than happy to pass that along. Barbara Hebert asked, do you get info from the scanner? Sometimes I, in fact, do. A lot of times with stories such as fires and car accidents, a lot of that comes directly from scanner traffic, though don't get me wrong, there are some other sources involved in things like that. It's not purely just scanner traffic, but that does have some involvement in some of the things that do go to the Scoop. James Nevins asks, where does the Tooth Fairy live? She owes me on a few teeth with interest. James, I have absolutely no idea. Yeah. Let's see here now. Not really a question. Diana Hayden asks, do you guys take shifts monitoring the group? Actually, to a certain degree, yes. A lot of times I'm usually monitoring things and such towards the later overnight hours. That's largely because of my work schedule. I've basically gone back to a job that I at least have a couple of overnights a week that I work, so that allows me to be kind of a night owl still. Aside from that, when I am awake and at home, I tend to try to monitor things and keep up with it as best I can. The rest of the admin staff is phenomenal with that at times. Usually we communicate with each other to know when we're not going to be around, when somebody's going to be away and such. So, we have great communication. I'm not really sure this is a question, but Tammy Koch, and Tammy, I've known you for years. Forgive me if I mispronounce that. She says, I'm glad you do this, Terry. I only have internet on my phone when it works. I don't have newspaper or satellite or cable. Salina was much safer back in the day when we were kids. That's true. It's sad, so violent now. Thanks for the hard work. By the way, next time there is a tornado, call or text me, but your post saved me. You're welcome. I try. That really covers everything. I didn't really get as many questions as I was hoping to out of this. Maybe we'll do it again somewhere down the future. Drawing back though to Denise Hefner's question, when she asked if I had a background in news or weather that was an inspiration for the scoop, I will go into that just briefly here. As far as the inspiration for the scoop, it was born out of an idea or inspired from an idea from a website that a friend of mine had done when he lived in another Kansas community at one point in time, and it was a website that I enjoyed. It no longer exists, unfortunately, and when I look back at that website, and what his was more of an online forum, but it still communicated news throughout that community even better than what their local news media outlets were there, which they don't have that many. It's a smaller community than Salina, and they had their newspaper, and I think one radio station online doing news. They now since have another website there, which is a sister site of the Post, the Salina Post, and I believe they have some coverage from the Wichita media outlets, but other than that, anyway, he started that site 12, 13 years back, and I thought Salina needed something similar to that, and Facebook was a great outlet for that. So that was really what inspired the scoop. I thought Salina needed something that communicated breaking news and developing stories a lot better than what we had available here. And I'm not saying anything against the Salina Post, KSAL, SalinaRadio.com, or even the Salina Journal, but the lack of coverage for breaking news and developing stories here was and is to a degree still severely laxed when it comes from those outlets. The Salina Post recently doing a much better job of getting breaking stories up. I applaud them for that. I really haven't seen much of that way out of the other outlets. Occasionally you'll see a breaking story up on the Journal's website, but probably not every breaking story. I mean, the one thing with the scoop is I tend to post every car accident that comes across, and the reason for that being is it's, in most cases, a traffic issue. But usually when an accident happens, that's going to disrupt or block a section of the road or a part of an intersection. Majority of the accidents that happen in this town are usually near the busier intersections, your Crawford and Broadway, your Santa Fe and Crawford, your Ohio and Crawford, and so on. And that's generally the reason for that. I would have never really thought that this particular page would have caught on the way that it did. I remember, and this page, keep in mind I launched this thing in April of 2010, and it took me the first, maybe almost 2 years before it even hit 1,000 members, and now here 4.5 years later, over 4.5 years later, 6,100 plus members as I'm speaking right now, and I thank each and every one of you for being a part of that. To have you coming to the page every day to find out what's going on in this town and in this county to the best of what we can do means more to me than I can ever express, and I appreciate that, and I hope you keep coming. Also, while I'm thinking about that, while I have 6,100 members there, I'm just a little more than over 100 members on the recently launched Salina Scoop sports page, and I will provide the link with that below in the video description here on the YouTube page, as well as with the post as well. And if you want local sports coverage, please, by all means, go and join that group. It's still a page that's in its infancy. We're still new to it. We're still getting things going. There's a very broad spectrum to the sports coverage just within this county, and it goes beyond what you would think. Of course, you have your local high schools within Saline County, your Central, your South, your Sacred Heart, Southeast, El Saline, St. John's Military. And within those scopes, you have football, basketball, volleyball, baseball, softball, and just all these sports. So, trying to have the time to cover all these things is the most difficult challenge, I guess you could say. And then, of course, with that, you have your college sports, which here in Salina we have Kansas Wesleyan University and Brown Mackie College, and then I've also elected to cover Kansas State University, the University of Kansas, and Wichita State University as well. And then, of course, the Salina Bombers indoor professional football team. I will tell you at this point I have elected to not formally cover the Kansas City Chiefs or the Kansas City Royals while I'm thinking about professional sports. And it's a time thing, which is why. With everything that it entails for that page, that's time-consuming enough. And on top of that, I've still got to maintain the scoop page with, obviously, the help of my assistants. There's also the other sister page, the North Central Kansas Weather Information, which tends to be a 24-hour thing at times. There's the Skinny from the Scoop. There is the Salina Area Hot List. I'm also the owner and operator of the El Saline Cardinal football page, which is now an affiliated page with the Salina Scoop as well. So I have all these things going. Oh, and also the Saline County Scanner Reports page is now mine. It's actually a merged effort between two pages that one existed, and at the moment his name is escaping me. He had given me his group page, Salina Scanner Reports, and I merged that with the page that is now Saline County Scanner Reports. That is well over 1,000 page likes, by the way, and I thank all of you for that as well. I am trying to find the time to get that updated, so please bear with me on that. I also have Twitter accounts that get updated. Salina Scoop Sports, and Salina Scanner are the three that come to mind. I am right now toying with the idea of a North Central Kansas Weather Information Twitter account, but that is something that I have not launched nor finalized because that is even more consumption of time. It comes down to finding assistance with all of that, but that is what it is. There are also other things that I'm looking at for the Scoop that are on the horizon that I won't get into detail now, that are hopefully as we get into 2015, before too much longer, I can get them off the ground and in the public eye and such. So again, I thank you all for your support, for being members, for coming here each and every day to get your news and information, your events and such. I do my best each and every day to keep that page as updated as I can. I work around my work schedule, my personal time. I'm not married and have no kids, but I still have a very busy personal life. I have 15 nieces and nephews, of which 7 are great nieces and nephews, and I try to give them my time when I'm able to do so. And so that's a part of my time as well. Of course, other family members, my siblings, my mother, and that type of thing. So there's a lot of things involved in that. So, outside the job hours and such. So if it comes to a point where you're not seeing updates to the page, please message me privately. Let me know. Also, by all means, message me privately. Tell me what you think could be improved on the page. Tell me if there's something that's not on the page that you would like to see. If there's too much of one thing that you'd like to see scaled back, please let me know. I'm all about the feedback. I want to make it the best overall experience for each and every one of you 6,100 people that are coming here every day. It's all about you, and it's all about what you want. I want to deliver the news, the events, the information. I want to deliver that to you and get it to you the way that you want it. So if there's something about the page you don't like, let me know. I can work with you to improve upon that. If there, like I said before, if there's something you want to see, let me know. I'll see what I can do to get it on there. But I got to have your feedback. Please message me privately. That is my one thing that I've asked over the years. Any comments, questions, concerns, opinions, anything that you want to talk to me directly about, come to me privately, because I really shy away from doing that kind of thing publicly right there on the page. That's not what the page is there for. And, that's how I ask. Come to me privately. If you have questions, concerns about a comment you may have put up being deleted, please get with me privately. If you have sent me a post, and of course, now I have a system in place to where if a member posts, it goes into a pending post, which means that once that happens, it's either approved or denied by myself or one of the 7 members of the staff. If you've sent a post and you're not seeing it up there within a time frame, message me, get my attention so that I can see it, because sometimes I get so many Facebook notifications at times, I don't always see each and every one. It's ridiculous. It's crazy between everybody involved with the Scoop and all the other group and fan pages, and then of course I have over 1,200 friends on the personal page. So yeah, I get a ton of notifications. I don't always see them. If it's within an hour, if you don't see it up, message me, message one of the staff. We'll look into it as soon as we can get to it. On the subject matter of comments, while I'm thinking about that, please understand that I'm trying to keep the page as professional as humanly possible. That means inappropriate comments, such as anything considered rude, combative, argumentative, anything containing profanity or vulgar content, sexual content, that's deleted without question. If you ever see a comment that's not deleted, please don't comment again and ask me why. Message me privately. I'll be happy to go over that with you so that it doesn't happen again. I had an instance a while back, I don't remember which post it was on, but one member in particular twice broke the profanity policy within the same post. And it took me messaging that person privately to get through to them what was going on. And as of the beginning of this month, I now have a 3 strikes and you're out policy. You violate policies 3 times and that's it. I haven't formally introduced that policy, and actually I was going to put that in effect in November. likely won't go into effect until December, but that's something that's in the works because I'm trying to keep it professional. I'm trying to keep the negativity and the drama out of it. Not including the earthquake post. By God, no. That is one thing. 800 plus comments, and I will go on record in 4.5 years that I have owned and operated this page. I have never had a post commented on as much as that one. That is clearly a Scoop record. Now, earlier today, I did go through and remove a few comments that I thought didn't need to be there, and then I stopped myself because I knew I did not have the time to physically go through 800 comments. It's not going to happen. I think before that, it must have been maybe one of the standoff posts from from months. Well, actually, the last standoff we had, I believe, was over the summer, and that one generated 200 or 300 comments, and it might have been right around that. To have the standoff a couple of years back when the officer was shot in the face. Those had been previously, I think, the most commented I'd ever posted. But the earthquake post, in case you're wondering, does still exist. I hid it. I did not delete it. It was hidden. It is now, if you go into the Photos tab at the top of the page, you will find a photo that says, "This just in." That's where that now exists. I didn't want to remove it because I didn't feel right about deleting it. I just thought, get it off the timeline, get the other news funneled in there. Nothing against anybody that posted there. It's time that be put to rest, although it is to my understanding as of this moment that there may be some news on that coming here in the not-so-distant future. So I believe I've covered everything. Again, as I've said a couple of times already, if you have questions, comments, concerns about anything page-related as far as, as everything I mentioned, please message me privately. I will take comments on this post that aren't anything that don't need to be public. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. I've already described that right here. So, again, I thank each and every one of you. 6,100 plus members is amazing. I hope that number keeps growing. It might be a bit far-fetched. I'd love to get it to 10,000 by the 5th anniversary in April. I don't think it'll be that high. I'm thinking probably more along the lines of maybe 8,000 by that point to be realistic. Maybe not quite that high even, but... a while back, before I close this video, I did promise a giveaway, and that was last year's anniversary, and I deeply apologize that never came into fruition. There were financial reasons for that. I'm going to try to do something with that again with the anniversary, the 5th anniversary this coming April. I do have some things in the planning stages that once I get finalized and I'm able to do, I'll get a post up so you all know what's going on. But that is, again, I apologize for that not happening last year. It will come about again this upcoming year. Before I close, I will ask, I have a former admin to the Scoop by the name of Carrie Thornburg, and I know at one point in time she lived down the street from where I'm at. If anybody, and I can't even find a Facebook page for her, and she stepped down from the Scoop some time back, but if anybody out there has heard from her, knows what's going on with her, knows how she's doing, by all means, please let me know. I'll make sure she's doing all right. She was at one time a valuable asset to the Scoop. I greatly miss having her aboard, as she was one of my biggest helpers with the breaking news stuff. So, and she also created some graphics for me that I still have and still occasionally do use. So, again, if anybody's heard from her, please, by all means, let me know. I'm going to close this video now. Again, thank you for being with the Salina Scoop. Go check out Salina Scoop Sports for those of you that are into that kind of thing. If you're not into sports, I won't push that point, but it is there. Please, by all means, take a look at it. Check out North Central Kansas weather information, which, that doesn't include just Saline County. That's 20, I think at last count, 26 counties in North Central Kansas, extending from Hayes all the way east as far as Manhattan, and basically from Concordia to McPherson. So it's a pretty broad area that I cover. If you know anybody in that county list, and if you go to the page, North Central Kansas weather information, and I'll put that link with this post as well, at the top right of the page in the About, it lists all those counties. If you know anybody in those counties, shoot them a message. Let them know about the page. Tell them it's there, and I'm more than happy to take them on as a member. So I'd like to see that get bigger. I think it's at 600 or 700 members. I don't have the exact number in front of me right at this moment in time. But I appreciate you all taking a look at this Q&A video, which has kind of been Q&A and then some, so I guess I'll call it Q&A, etc. Thank you, as always, for being a part of the Salina Scoop. Keep scooping. I will see you guys soon. Take care, everybody. Until next time around.